I will now introduce to you Dr. Damion Kenwood. Dr. Damion Kenwood is currently the Director of External Partnerships, Climate and Culture for the New York City Department of Education. Dr. Kenwood's background is highlighted by policies aimed at improving the functioning of the public school system. Dr. Kenwood possesses a PhD in Educational Leadership from Nova Southeastern University and a Bachelor's of Art from St. John's University in Queens, New York. We are very proud of his contributions to education and can also boast that he is a graduate of our very own Transit Tech High School. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Damion Kenwood.
Good morning, Transit Tech family. Good morning, graduating class of 2020. Thanks once again, Principal Bynum, for extending an invitation for me to address the class of 2020. For me, this is a great honor because I'm a member of the Transit Tech family. Over 20 years ago, when I walked into the doors of Transit Tech High School, for me, it was a scary place because it was brand new to the country. I found America to be something scary, something new. I ended up at Transit Tech by pure luck. I was at a track meet, and the track coach saw me run, and he came over to me and said, "Son, Transit Tech is the place you need to be." I asked him why. He looked me straight in the face and said, "Transit Tech is the high school in the city with the most females." He didn't need to say anything more. I went home and convinced my mom to sign me up for Transit Tech High School. Within a week, I was a student at Transit Tech High School. My first week in the school, there was only 2 females in my class. I went to my track coach and said, "Coach, there's only 2 girls in the class." He said, "They will be there next week." 2 weeks had passed. We were at practice. I said, "Coach, there's still only 2 girls in my class." He looked at me and said, "It's time for practice. What does that have to do with practice?" With that said, people say everything happens for a reason. I do not know how true that is, but I know everything happens. And it's up to you to maximize the reality of your situation. I was able to maximize the reality of my situation during my times at Transit by becoming a 12-time city champion, 4 times All-American, and academic All-American. But most important, it was the lifelong friendships that I developed, the lifelong relationships that I developed, that I still call upon to this day. For you, class of 2020, this has been a tough year. Within 100 days, you have experienced a pandemic, a recession, and a revolution. But you did not quit. It would be easy to say, "I'm not going to log into Zoom. I'm not going to log into Google Classroom. I'm just going to stay in my house and wait until this passes." But you did not. You strive. You dug deep and you came out on top. Everyone has a different timeline. Everyone has a different story. The key is not to allow anyone to write your story. Embrace your story. Within your story, there'll be ups, there'll be down, there'll be good, there'll be bad. But the key is, it's your story. Embrace it. Do not allow any adult to write your story. My senior year at Transit Tech was the first time I met my guidance counselor. I was in railcar lab. Someone brought a note to the teacher. The teacher said, "Kenwood, you need to go to your guidance counselor." At the time, I never met my guidance counselor before. I showed up to his office. I knocked on the door. As I entered, he took out my file. In my file, there were 2 pieces of paper. One was my transcript. I do not remember what the other piece of paper was. He looked me up and down, said, "Kenwood, you're a big, strong guy. You have some decent grades. You should join the Army." I looked at him and said, "But I have scholarship offers from over 100 universities." He said, "That's nice. But if that don't work out for you, you should think about joining the Army." I said, "Thank you." I walked out his door, never thinking anything of it. Years later, when I had conversations with my friends who had the same experience, they told me, "Yeah, you told me the same thing. That's why I joined the Army." My friends who were just as brilliant, just as talented. But what happened, they allowed that person to write their story. In life, you will have adults who will try and write your story. But your job is to make sure that no one defines your story. Only you should have the power to write your story. Take advice along the way, but never allow anyone to write your story. With that said, I know today there will be much more eloquent speakers than myself, so I won't continue to ramble on. But one thing I want you to take away from today is that in life there will always be adults, there will always be people who try to write your story. And it's important not to allow anyone to write your story or define who you are. You are special. You're the class of 2020. And once again, congratulations, Transitech class of 2020. It's been a pleasure for me to address you.